Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nations Cup 17 for the very last quarterfinals between Portugal and Australia. We are right now here in the second match of the series, with Australia being up 1-0 to Portugal after a very aggressive play onto Hunga Beta 8, the map of choice of Portugal. And they weren't just aggressive, if I can say so, they were also very unpredictable. They switched randomly, as it seemed, like between 3 or 4 different but all very aggressive strategies. The least aggressive one being the line, as I like to call it, just where you are on either side of the map. But even then, Australia were very aggressive, also at that point, just trying to move in before anyone else probably would. And Portugal seemed to be able to deal with it somewhat in the middle of the game. They were actually having a better win score in the middle of the game compared to the rest, but in the end, it didn't matter really. Australia, it's also in the end, and for the first half of the map, were just winning one round after the other, being very aggressive and just really doing it really well. And actually showing me a strategy that I haven't seen before, but it worked perfectly fine. So with that, we're going to the second match of the series, being the map of choice of Australia being Austria. Just to mess with me, because I will probably end up calling the map Australia or the team Austria. I don't know why, but yeah, well, I know why, because both of them are so similar, but well, maybe actually, if we just look at something else than the name of the map, maybe this is actually what Poland needs. I mean, as all of you probably know, this map is rather open and larger than most of the maps, or at least it feels like that with these more open areas, and also with longer corridors like the tunnel. It doesn't favor aggressive strategies I would expect. I would love to see Australia proving me wrong on this, but I am expecting a slower game, which I think Portugal may actually be better at, as it slowed down in the middle of to Hunga Beta 8. It seemed like Portugal were able to actually get in the win. So maybe, even though this is the map of choice of Australia, which should give Australia the edge, maybe this is actually what Portugal needs. A slower and more defensive game. And, well, the thing is that because this map is so slow and more defensive and more open, and you can't really be aggressive, the only strategy that I know of that is really played for the most time is this the line that I keep on saying or keep on referring to. This where you just pretty much take the map and just make it in half. One team takes one half and the other team takes the other. In this circumstance, it would be the eastern and the western side. And then they will go in 2-1-2 positions, spread between the tunnel, probably where they're going to have a sniper and a medic, maybe too. And then also we have the middle being probably being one of the only parts where you're only going to see close quarters, and then the wall, where you most of the time will also only go for close quarter battles and grenades on top of that. But you can also go for a sniper or a G36 from the balcony behind it. That could also be a possibility. But as you can hear, this is most of these positions not really favor a more aggressive play, except for the middle. You can probably be rather aggressive in the middle, but on the other hand, you can just be defensive and not move into the middle. So whoever takes the middle part cannot really move out, because you can just have a sniper looking down there too and pick you off. So even in the middle, you can't be aggressive, except if your opponent is too. And with that, I guess we just go straight into the game. After I take a little sip here from this water. Yeah, that was needed. So let's just get straight into the game with 12, 11, 10 seconds left. Just doing the countdown so that I can sync everything up. And yes, the game has started with all the have funs. And again, Australia, of course, has to add the mates. I guess it's just a running gag from here. Pragmatic with and G36 actually down the tunnel. Not an SI8. Actually, again, also a much more aggressive choice, as the SI8 is very defensive. Howler now moving and getting the shot near, not really, because Howler Sadix just jumping from everywhere with a better aim and getting Howler down immediately with about 50% health left. Chance now hitting him 3 times, but not really getting him killed. And Portugal actually being the one moving in, and with David the last man standing, Portugal takes the first win of this match. But yes, let's just get back to the G36, shall we? Again, the G36 is the one. It's a weapon that you can take both for close quarters and for long distance maps, long distance too. We have him now jumping over the wall, trying to get Howler or David down, but getting killed instead. Nasri and others from Portugal now actually moving in, and that is actually the second round with pretty much everyone left from Portugal's side still alive. Portugal actually being the aggressive here. I really like it. Nasri actually getting David down though too with a G36, and David also being one of the long distance players. They can pretty much move in now, as they can be pretty much safe here. One nade over to the spawn, not really hitting anyone, but now actually getting one down. It doesn't seem like Sadix got him, but on the other hand, the Chance is moving, actually getting Waffy. And now it's a one-on-one. Sadix though being the one that knows where Chance is, but Chance actually getting told by others, or just being a genius, it saw Nasri immediately, and with a G36 against an LR at that distance, the G36 wins. And that is the first round for Australia. Nades are thrown, trying to hit the normal positions. Chance nearly getting one killed, actually moving in just to get that kill down, and the rest of Australia also seemingly moving in from the wall and the middle, and falling down, and Chance actually backstabbing or flanking, whatever you want to call it, Sadix. That is now tied up again to a 2-2. David with a G36 on the wall, and Nasri trying to move in, but really they are both being very aggressive, and Australia with this choice of going for some weapon choices that are somewhat good at everything. The G36 isn't good at close quarters, neither is it really good at long distance, but is okay at everything. They actually seem to be really doing really well here, because they can just change in the middle of the round with their strategy. Rafi being not the last one standing, but the second one. Moto being the last one, now killed by Chance. And if not Chance, everyone else would have collapsed on it. And Portugal actually now pausing the game, because, well, Australia were on a 3-round win streak here. Not really what you want to see, especially after that beginning. Portugal has to figure out exactly how they want to switch their strategies. Do they want to go be even more aggressive against Australia? Maybe throw in some more nades. Well, nades can be both aggressive and also defensive, so that's just depends on how you use it. But if you all switch those to LRs and be very aggressive, that could probably be done. But then again, as I said, on this map you really don't want to be aggressive, because this map is so large and you cannot really do anything that is anything that is very aggressive, because you can just get shot down so easily. So maybe they should probably just switch to some SI8 and SI8s and try and see if they can slow this game down and actually just be slow and methodical here. Australia now throwing some nades into the middle. Howler's trying to see if he can reinforce the wall at the same time. And actually getting Sadix, and also dodging the nade. Chance though falling down, and David too. So the wall has fallen for Australia. But Australia, on the other hand, is trying to move in on the tunnel. With Blake though being the last one, that won't really help. At 3 against 1, he gets at least one of them. But Blake also now falls. It's now a 3-3. Portugal now tying it up again with 16 minutes left. Everything can still happen. Both teams really seem to be really good at doing whatever, figuring out what their opponents are doing and figuring out what they should counter it. Now Nasri now going over the wall, getting hit for a little bit by someone else at the balcony, but as it seemed he was getting some shots down, but not really killing anyone, and they just moved in as they could see the opportunity was there and got the kill. XVII now being the last one of Portugal against 4 of them. He has to be really sneaky if he wants to get this one done. He isn't the assassin this time. Sadly, Chance getting him shot down immediately for a 4-3 for Australia. Chance getting ready for the jump over the wall, and the nades now too. Actually, the nades have been very on point throughout this game, having actually killed a lot of people. So actually somewhat decisive in some of these games. Chance nearly getting the kill on Nasri, but with 4 HP left, Nasri actually takes the kill, and it's still a 3 against 4 here. Howland probably should try and see if he could get healed up here a little bit. And Blake now try and see if he can just reinforce the middle from a long distance. And hopefully now healing up. I would really hope so. They were now giving cover, which is really good. Getting 2 of them down, as it seems. With only 1 left in the middle, they know where to go. But with only so little HP, they actually still do it. Even though you may want to go back and just do it. But they know, or they knew already, that the last one from Portugal was already at low HP too. So they just chose to kill him immediately. Blake trying to stay back a little bit with actually the LR. And Davo on the wall, Australia has actually already moved in through the middle and everything else. And the tunnel didn't really seem to do anything, but that doesn't matter. If the wall has fallen down, you can just collapse on the opponents from that side. And then the tunnel will follow later. They were actually moving and getting one of them down together with Howler. Not really getting anything else down, and now Portugal is actually moving in. As Australia weren't really able to capitalize on that first thing, but actually just trying to outflank those on Portugal's side that were actually doing really well at the wall. They still got the round. And it's now a 7-3 to Australia. Will Australia actually just take this to a 2-0? Let's see. Howler actually now getting the middle as it seemed. No, actually bleeding to death. With Sadix actually having 42 HP left. Not really something I expected. And in the meantime, Portugal actually just killed everything else from Australia too. Also, as we can see, Portugal has actually been chosen to go for the SA8 now. So Portugal actually has now chosen to slow everything down. Which is also can be seen by the extra amount of nades and how far behind they are actually. They aren't really moving that much in. They're actually choosing to wait for Australia to do it themselves. Waffy actually falling down after having done some shots. And Nasri seems to be falling too. Actually today with the 87 HP, that's quite a lot. But also now the wall for Australia has fallen with Sadix and Amish still left against Blake and Fragnetic. It's like 2 against 2. Sadix though falling with no HP left, and the other one also. Blake and Fragnetic kills him and cleans everything up easily. With the G36 from Australia, we see if that they just try and figure out what the Portuguesians are doing. The tunnel seems to be just completely free from... Ah, there's actually one in the back. Seems to me like my monitor's way too dark. Howlett now moving into the middle, trying to see if he can get some Portuguesians down after the rest of the Australia already moved in. Getting 3 of them, as it seems. No, 2 of them only. But helping with at least 3 or 4 of them. Now some nades through the tunnel, if it should be that Portugal actually chose to go for a wash. And they actually did, but through the middle. So Howler now actually going down to the bottom, getting a nade by Sadix. And now also Portuguesians are moving in, both from the back, from the tunnel and the wall. But somehow Portugal has actually collapsed while 3 of the Australians are still left here. And it's now a 4-10. Pragnetic now just trying to see if he can get down. Not really getting the hits, actually getting killed by Mortal. Also on a Q36. Howler with only 20 HP left gets Sadix down in the middle. Moving, trying to move back for the to the spawn, but getting chased by Waffy. He also falls, and at the meantime the tunnel was washed, killing the west of Australia, making it a 10-5. Also, the tunnel now again has been washed. Actually, a strategy that I completely forgot that you can do on this map. Just washing through the tunnel. A very, very competent strategy, as we can see. Though Portugal has been dealt a lot of heavy casualties here. With Waffy now also trying to see if he can nade some or keep just the Australians back with nades. Not really working that well. No, at least Blake now falls to the hand of Nasri, and also Howler new to Sadix. Waffy now trying to see if he can flank the rest of the Australians. And Fragnetic as the last one, killed by Nasri at the wall. Sadix now throwing some extra nades through the middle, not trying to see, just making so that the Australians can't rush in through there. Just trying to see if you can get some kills, or at least just keeping the back nades at one side and then rushing into the middle from the other. Though going back, just to slow everything down. Amish trying to see if he can help at the wall. Moving into the tunnel and not seeing anything really. Though from the middle he actually gets Howler down, but gets killed by Chance through the tunnel together with who have been moving together with Blake. Yes, Blake, and Fragnetic be killing Waffy, making now at 6-11. Whoa! The nades are, as I said, on point, or Chance is really just unlucky, being really just in the wrong position here. Getting killed by that nade, not really what you want. At least Sadix from Portugal and Amish now too have fallen too. So it's somewhat balanced. No, also Waffy now, and they will buy a nade again. These nades are really on point. Mortal actually getting in a really good position. Could have killed a lot of these Australians, but didn't really get that well done. But Nasri actually now cleans it up with only one Australian left. And now it's a 7-11. Portugal is still far behind, but with about 4 rounds, they can still do it, especially with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. There's more than enough time to turn this thing around, and it seems to be stronger and stronger the more time passes here. Portugal seems to be not very strong through the start of the game. Amish now moving in, they're going down after one of them. Howler actually now flanking one, but getting killed by the 2 Portuguesians in the tunnel. Blake being not the last man standing, but with not really that much HP. Not being able to do that much, but they were all over at the wall, supporting and just flanking actually the Portuguesians at the tunnel. Not jumping over the wall, getting some hits, but not really doing anything worthwhile. And with all those hits, it wasn't really worth it, and getting killed too. So he dies together with Davo. All of the Portuguesians are still alive. Actually, they have moved in from the wall now. Waffy now also flanking, while the Australians were at the same time with just moving in from the wall with the west, and they pretty much just cleaned that up easily from there. Nasri now trying to get some nades down on where they normally are. Didn't seem like he got anyone. He just has to throw those nades actually a little bit further, because he seemed to be getting it to the fountain and not to the porch or balcony area where the Australian actually resides. Sadix actually now moving in through the middle, trying to see if he can get someone. Getting killed though by Howler, who just jumps in as like a lighting beam. I don't know, that did make sense, but came in really fast and just killed him immediately. Chance now trying to kill some Portuguesians down the tunnel with the G36 and getting healed now too. Really good decision. And getting covered by one of the other Australians. They're now actually moving out from the spawn area and going over to the wall. I like that idea, not staying in one place, but on the other hand, you want to be in a position where you can defend it easily. At this wall position, you can do it pretty well. You have only to be able to deal with 2 areas really. Like Chance is looking right now, and then to the right too. So I like this idea. Actually, I like it more than this the spawn area. somewhat. Shan's getting some hits down to the tunnel. He's actually waiting for the flank to happen here. One has actually moved in from Portugal. Actually, though, killing David, sadly. And west of Portugal is actually now trying to collapse in. Those Desert Eagle shots by Mortal not really doing anything they need, but the west of Portugal, actually, their hits seem to do the job. And with that, it's now at 12 to 9. Portugal actually slowly, as it seems, trying to catch up here. Nasri getting the perfect shots down on Shans, not really knowing where he got hit from, or at least not being able to respond to it. And the west of Portugal has actually just in the meantime been getting all just collapsing on top of them. And Nasri doing really good work here, and if not getting the kills, he has been supporting or assisting, whatever you want to call it, assisting all these kills very much. At least 3 of these kills were assisted by him, or done by him himself. And now it's Australia's turn to take a pause here. And yeah, it seems like Portugal now just let's try that again. It seems like Portugal now just gets the rhythm of this map here. Just knowing when to rush in and then when to just stay back. But Australia, on the other hand, also just seem to be not very aggressive. Less aggressive than they were last time, but they still seem to be very aggressive. But Portugal just seems to be, most of the time, very much able to keep Australia back. But then again, sometimes Australia just seems to mix it up in some way, getting through the middle or somewhere, and actually just deal with it. Or sometimes they just get a good nade down that disrupts everything. Or what else have we seen? We have also just seen them just finding a problem with Portugal's defense, because Portugal hasn't been playing perfectly either. Nades down so that we cannot see any rushes through the tunnel, which you would probably expect Australia to do now after Portugal having done that too. Nades going in through the middle, as it's or Sadix actually at least tried, but he switched up now. And moving in actually through the middle, as it seemed like Australia went out of it. Sadix now trying to go over for the wall. And probably, he seemed, that was actually it. Sadix actually doing what he needed, getting everyone killed at the wall. Sorry, all of a sudden I was not really here mentally. Waffy now here at the wall, trying to get the kill on the, or at least some defensive shots on the balcony. Nate's in through the middle, and back to the wall again. It seems like his position is just a little bit over everywhere. Though, Australia actually seems to be trying to move in through the tunnel here. And actually, Portugal seems to be pushed back. Though Australia, or Davo from Australia, is as the only one left, is at the wall, trying to see if he can kill Wafy, if I remember correctly, at the middle, but trying to see if he looking for the flank that wasn't there. To be just to note that Wafy was able to just flank the one that I was expecting another flank, if that makes sense. And then that was the kill for Australia here. Actually make it now, for Portugal. Make it now at 12 to 12. Portugal now again moving in, both on the wall and also through the middle. And with only the last place for Australia to be being the tunnel, and all from Portugal being everywhere else, that round could only have gone to Portugal, because you cannot, as one person, shoot in both directions. 180s can't be done simultaneously. Nasri now going over the wall, trying to see if he can get the kill done. He doesn't, but Waffy gets chance. And Nasri now trying to get some hits done on whoever was at the fountain. Not really getting him killed, but gets a lot of shots done. He got 3 of them, so he's probably at 50 HP. Portugal now moving in through the middle, healing up. 2, and moving further in. Actually, Portugal, as it seemed, actually are trying to clean this up again. Blake and Fragnetic being the only one from Australia left. Though this one could actually still happen, but Amish, as the last one from Portugal, with 70 HP, gets Fragnetic in the end. But actually, that one could have actually been able to go in both ways if Fragnetic's hits had been better. It was a 2 against 2. Could have been done. Australia now actually rushing in through the tunnel, getting one kill done with no losses, and now going into the middle and to the wall. Pragmatic sadly falling to Waffy, but Howler now even trying to see if he could get for the flank, and with the rest of Australia that was still alive, they got this extra round. It's now though a 14-13. So 2 rounds to Australia, and they're again in the lead. But Portugal actually has been tying this one up and actually getting in the lead. Chance now going over the wall, trying to get some shots off, not really seeing someone, though he saw where probably should have thrown an 8. Not really getting anyone killed, and not really looking down, which is a good place to be. Blake actually getting in the middle, getting 2 killed, both Sadix and Amish, and now also moving further, as he was expecting to be flanked from behind. And being the last one alive, he probably has to move somewhere more safe, though the middle is probably a good position to be. And there, Mortal with a G36, expecting actually, is expecting the wash as it seemed, or at least he was lucky just looking in the right direction, gets the kill and gets the round, now to 15-13, with 1 minute left. 2 rounds, yes, Australia can still tie this one map up. Australia has been moving in from the wall and seems to try to collapse on top of Portugal, who has actually had to retreat back to the opponent's spawn side and now to the wall. Trying to see if he can actually flank and kill someone without being noticed. Trying to be the assassin here, getting some shots done, but really not getting a kill yet and being noticed. So he has to move further and try and see if he can get them off his tail if he wants to really get some kills done. It's a 3 against 1, and he just got to kill now, get a hit and getting killed by Davo. Making though, it's a 15-14. 10 seconds left. Probably Australia can't getting another round started, so they can't win this map, but they can still tie this one map up. Yes, this will be the very last round of this map. Shan's trying to go look over the wall, trying to see if he can get anyone killed. And, well, isn't the accuracy higher if you scope? I don't know. Well, the point being just that Shan's not really getting any hits over to the wall as one from the Portugal was moving over there. Chance should probably trying to get killed, getting 1 kill, but with no HP left. And the other one being the only last one left against what seemed to be like 3 of them. Portugal actually takes the win here and ties it up for the ace match. This was a really good, cool back and forth here that we saw. Australia being very, very strong at the start again, just like last time. But unlike the last match on Tuhunga, yeah, and that seemed to do the trick. They got all the way back from what was it, a 7-3, a 7-4? Something like that. Australia were far ahead in the score, especially at the start, but tying everything up wonderfully and beautifully. And with that, yeah, Portugal has just shown how well it is, or how beautiful it is to just play everything defensively, and just to see and let your opponent, or just try and read your opponent and figure out when to move and not just be the aggressor here. Really, really well played by both teams. Though I like what Australia was trying to do, being very aggressive. But then they also in the end retreated, though they didn't change any weapons. There were no one from Australia who switched to an SI-8. Which maybe would have been the change, especially down the tunnel. As actually Portugal were the ones that started the tunnel wash. So maybe a switch to an SI-8 for Australia would maybe have done wonders. Could maybe have actually been the 1 or 2 rounds that Australia would have needed to get the win here. But I won't complain, because we got an ace match because of this. And this ace match will be, of course, on... Wait, what was it? Ah, there, Kingdom, thank you. For some reason, I messed up my notes here. I completely botched this hype here, didn't I? Well, this ace match will be on Kingdom RC6. I have not really played this map very much, a lot, but I would expect something similar to this one. It has some close quarters. It's probably a bit more close quarter than the Austria, not Australia map, the Austria map, but much less close quarters than Tonga. So I think this map is going to go probably either way. Probably Australia should be the favorite here because they have been strong on both maps. So maybe they will be the one that will be the victor here. But Portugal has shown that they can come back from far behind on both maps. So you shouldn't count either of these players, or either of these teams out. Thanks for watching. Until next time.